Hey everyone, I'm trying something a little different this time. I did that history video which was very well received and I appreciate that. And this is more of a quick comment of sorts on something I've noticed in a lot of news reports and newspaper reports on the conflict in Syria right now, the civil war. It's always prefaced with this has been at this point I guess it would be a 20-month violent uprising. And I think it's very important to note that this uprising was not violent, at least not initially. It certainly is now sort of developed into a civil war, at least according to the Red Cross at this point. But it should be noted that the very first couple of months, this uprising was peaceful. It consisted of weekly protests and demonstrations, people marching through the streets, demanding the right to choose their own government. And as this went on, the government forces would fire warning shots and beat up members of the crowd. Eventually they started firing on the crowd themselves. Went from armed soldiers to tanks to even the Syrian Navy was used at one point in late August, early September of 2011. And there was no sign of the Free Syrian Army, which sort of became the more prominent militia group within the country. They showed up around July 2011, but they were very small and disorganized, and it was months before they could be considered a legitimate rebel force. So I think it's really unfair to the Syrian people that their uprising is cast as violent when it's really the government forces that have been violent towards them, and really this is more a response to that. It doesn't justify some of the more extreme actions of the rebels, certain executions and other things they've done, but at the same time, I think it's important to keep in mind that Bashar al-Assad is a pretty bad dude. He's part of a crime family dictatorship. His father, Hafez al-Assad, is responsible for the massacre at Hama, which was a Syrian uprising in 1982. Of course, this one actually met with very strong military force, and somewhere between 10 and 40,000 Syrian citizens were killed in a very short period of time. We're reaching those levels now, except over the course of nearly 2 years. And really that's all I wanted to say. I think it's very important to keep a perspective of who's fighting who in this situation, and maybe even get people a little worked up and maybe possibly push their governments towards trying to do something positive, a no-fly zone or something. I know it's not popular to start a military intervention anywhere, but when it's people being killed on the streets by their own government, I think there is a responsibility from the international community. And hopefully the UN will be able to do something soon. Russia and China are kind of slowing that down, unfortunately, but it is what it is, and yeah. Well, now I'm all bummed out, but I hope I helped you guys understand the situation just a little bit better, and thanks for watching.